Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another episode of B is for Build. In today's episode, we're gonna start pulling the engine out of the M5. Stay tuned. Before I can pull the engine, I should definitely go get my engine hoist. So that's what we're doing right now. Road tripping down to Silverton, Oregon, out into the countryside to go pick up my engine hoist from my parents' house. You guys remember, I had to bring it down there when we were working on the BRZ, and they've been kind enough to kind of let me keep it there for a while, because when I didn't own the shop, I didn't have the storage for it. But now that I own the shop, I can bring it home. Let's go get it. Here she be. This is our good old engine lift. It's been out here for a couple months, but it looks like it's in pretty good condition still. So gotta pull the pins out of the bottom, pretty much break it down, and somehow magically it fits in the back of there. We'll load it up and we'll be on our way. Back in the shop, and it is freezing. I got the heater going, and the best way to get warmed up is just gonna be to get straight to work. So the overarching plan on this is drop everything right out the ass. Just drop it out the bottom. So the engine, the transmission, the suspension, the front subframe, all out the bottom. I think it's possible. I don't see why not. So that's the game plan. Now, we're a lot of steps away from that right now, so we gotta get started. First, I think the best thing to do is start removing these auxiliary things, and that'll get us just that out of the way. But it also means draining a lot of stuff. So you have oil right there, you have the coolant in the radiator right there, you have power steering right there, and you have AC. That's already been drained from the accident. But yeah, so that's a whole lot of things that need to drain out. But speaking of drainage, it's been 2 days since we've seen this car, and we have no new fluids on the ground. So we have no more coolant leaking out actively, and we definitely fixed the oil leak. If you look, you guys won't be able to see, but I checked the oil pan plug bolt, and there's no oil on it or around it. So we fixed the oil leak. I highly doubt we fixed the coolant leak because, let's be honest, we didn't change anything, but we'll figure that out and diagnose that when the time comes. So I'm gonna get started on all this stuff up front. Looks a little more opened up now that we've got that stuff out of the way. So let's go over kind of well, you guys know what we did because we've shown that in previous episodes. You're kind of taking off the radiator hoses, the other hosing, and then you're really just pulling that whole unit off of these little shelves here, which both disconnect from the frame rails. Pieces that are toast, we have this interesting hosing, which I think this is like some EGR, like environmental stuff. That's my guess. And it seems to, from the accident, have gotten rubbed into something that ran a hole right through it. But it comes down and it comes down and around, and I think it goes into this guy, which then snakes and goes past the sensor, snakes back up, and goes into this air box. I have a feeling that's all exhaust recirculation, green piece stuff that we may be able to delete if we can find a way to do it and not piss off the camera. Wow, that hose runs so close to that belt. Wow. This engine really is at a high level of tolerances. You guys know that. Anyways, okay, so like I said, that hose, toast. Our power steering fluid cooler, that's toast. So I'm gonna go ahead and be disconnecting that from there in a second, and we'll get ready to order a new one of those. Coming over here, the back side of this is fine, radiator's fine. This shrouding has a crack in it, so it's not all fine. I need to get the shroud, but the fan itself is good. Whoa, and the fan's the expensive part. But then coming over here, the radiator's fine, but the AC condenser, oh, this is about to fall, 1 second. The AC condenser on the other side of that is dented a little bit more than I would want for a project of this caliber, so I'll be ordering a new one of those as well. Other than that, nothing else really sticks out. Have to be very, very diligent with labeling. So everything's getting labeled, you know, horn wire, the hood latch sensors. So imagine this, like if I don't label this and we get down the road and the car won't go into gear, we're gonna be like, why won't the car go into gear? Oh, well, the hood latch sensors aren't grounded out. Oh, because we don't have them. Oh, which wires are those? And we'll have about 40 wires sitting up front and we'd be hunting them down. So everything has to get labeled so we can know what to do with it when it goes into the new two-frame chassis. All right, now the next part is prepping the engine and front subframe to come down, and that'll be interesting. I want to go ahead and get the air boxes out because those seem to be kind of a hang-up, I guess, and maybe this reservoir if I can. I'd like to get that out. Maybe some of these suspension components as well, and start pulling that stuff out just to get a little bit more working room in the top. I need to find the secondary, there's one hook right here to hook into the engine. I also need to find the other one. So I'm gonna be kind of doing a little discovery, a little poking around for the next few minutes. With the air boxes out, I'm really starting to get a better picture. This little crinkle hose thing that we were talking about is like some sort of, because you got a breather here from each bank. And that breather, if you look at this frame rail, and you were to imagine, oh, you can't see it because it's right there. Okay, so it's right there. And you're looking at that frame rail that's going like this. It looks like that breather, if the engine were to come down, try and slide down, it'd get smashed. So, another interesting thing is this hose is like pushed forward for some reason. It's weird. It's got a tough kink in it. So we'll need to alleviate that pressure right away. It's very strange. I don't know if it got bent or something, but we can fix that. So sorry, getting back to these breathers, there's 2 bolts on each one and they're both kind of covered up. On this side, it's kind of covered up by this coolant reservoir. On over here, it's a lot more visible. It's a lot more accessible. It's right down there. But the power steering stuff is a little bit in the way. I think I'll go ahead and detach the power steering reservoir and the coolant reservoir right now. That way I can get a better angle on those guys and be ready to take those off. Interesting too is if you look down here, you can kind of see some, let me get a light for you. You can kind of see some brass fittings that are not BMW OEM. So I really am anxious to get this piece off and take a look and see what's going on back there. Okay, I got the breather valves off from right there and coming over here from right here. And well, I see that there's a front engine hoisting point right there, but I don't see a rear one anywhere. And I did some reading online and they're saying intake plenums have to come off or else you'll break them anyways. And that makes a lot of sense. You can imagine if you had a chain coming down to anywhere back here, they're really gonna get hung up on those things. So they gotta come out. But what I hear from everywhere is it's an epic pain in the ass and it takes a lot of time, but I'm gonna do my best. So you can see down here that there's these little like ring clamps. Yeah, you can kind of see it right there. They're hose clamps basically. And so there's 5 throttle bodies, ITBs, on each bank. And I gotta get each one of those off. And then I should be able to remove one of these. And once you get the first one off, the second one's supposed to be even easier. Let's see if we can tackle this. Oh my God, that looks so beautiful. I'm thinking about this, guys. I apologize. You'll probably know already. I'm thinking about making the title of this episode something about like switching to ITBs, because when I got my first M5, so many people were like, run ITBs. And then everybody's like, it has ITBs. You just have to have the plenum. So the way this works is this car obviously has ITBs. You can see them right here. And the plenums are on there because you need to mass all the air and use a mass airflow sensor that goes right about there. So you can measure the air going into the car. If you don't have that, you need to run speed density, meaning you're going to be running a different ECU, and then you're into the standalone ECU world. As far as I know, that's the only way to do it. I don't think you can do it with the stock ECU. So as far as I know, it's a really big headache to have this all visible, but damn, that's really pretty. So I might make the title something like switching to ITBs. I don't know, maybe. It's better than engine breakdown day 1. So it is broken down though. It's looking pretty good. I'm not sure if I'm gonna find a mounting point back here or not to hoist. Oh, there she be. It's right there. Okay. All right, guys, well, it's getting pretty late, so I think that's where I'm gonna wrap this one up. In the next episode, I'm gonna try my best to drop this engine and trans out of this car. I don't think we got too many other things that are holding us up. Don't do this, by the way. Always wear gloves. This is really bad for you. I ran out of gloves today. Didn't have time to go buy any more, so that's disgusting. But it'll also probably give you cancer, so don't do that. If you like BS for Build, you want to help out and support, head over to bsforbuild.com, scroll down to our shop. We got our shirts and our hoodies, and they're in stock. And there is no telling, people keep asking, I got no idea when more stuff is going to come back and come in stock. Honestly, I've been so busy working here in the shop and managing other stuff that I haven't had time to even think about merchandise. Just having fun working on this stuff. What else? If you want to find us in more places, head over to BS for Build on Instagram. That's the best place to get all the updates, behind the scenes, all that good stuff. Other than that, just thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate all you for being here, and I hope you're having fun on this little old journey. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace!